Rampage is better than Sword Art Online in every way. Big monsters, epic action, and non-stop fun that keeps you hooked. Dwayne Johnson brings real energy and makes you care, while SAO is just a boring mess of flat characters and confusing plots. If you want excitement without the eye rolls, Rampage is the clear choice. Let's dive into why Rampage leaves SAO in the dust, and stick around for another awesome Dwayne Johnson movie you'll want to check out.
Rampage is a 2018 American science fiction monster movie. It's loosely based on the video game of the same name by Midway Games. In this video, let's take a look at everything Rampage does right. The studio logos at the beginning of the movie here are pretty awesome. They definitely fit with the theme and tone of the movie. It's always interesting when the studio logos at the beginning of movies are different and unique. Although it's never mentioned in the movie, the rat here is most likely meant to be Larry. Larry is actually from the Atari Lynx version of the Rampage video game. The character was a special inclusion and only appeared in that particular version of the game. Dwayne Johnson was a great choice to play Davis Okoye. He's able to play a very charismatic and likable lead character. Additionally, Dwayne Johnson is a big fan of the original Rampage video game. He would frequently play the arcade game when he was a teenager growing up in Hawaii. It's nice how they cast someone who's actually familiar with the Rampage video game. Some very impressive visual effects for George. He actually looks very realistic. The visual effects in this movie overall are very good. Also, George's white fur is a nice touch. It's a good way to differentiate him from other gorillas that you've seen in movies, like in King Kong and the Planet of the Apes movies. It's cool how George has the ability to use sign language. That's actually very possible. There have been gorillas in real life who are able to use sign language, most notably Coco. It's nice how this movie is also scientifically accurate, even though it is a science fiction movie for the most part. Pretty hilarious moment here. It's funny how George is giving Davis the finger. You certainly don't see this kind of stuff in any other movie. The sign that Davis is making here when he says it's me is for the word rock. This is a nice reference to Dwayne Johnson's nickname, The Rock. You can tell that Davis definitely has a lot of experience with wild animals. I'm sure that any normal person will be freaking out and panicking right now, but Davis is able to remain calm and collected. He's probably had to deal with even much worse situations in the past. The Rampage arcade game in the background here is a nice Easter egg. As I mentioned in the intro, this movie is based on that game. Perhaps the characters in this movie got the idea for Experiment Project Rampage from the Rampage video game. This movie does a great job portraying Davis's strong attachment to George. He's doing whatever he can to make sure that George doesn't get hurt. Later in the movie, we learn that Davis rescued George from some poachers after George's mother was killed. So it makes sense why Davis feels so responsible for George. George has nobody else. Davis is really his only friend. George picking up the cement bench here could possibly be a reference to the fate of the Furious. In that movie, Dwayne Johnson's character Luke Hobbs did something very similar when he was in prison. It's funny how Connor is screaming not again here. As we saw earlier in the movie, this isn't the first time that Connor has been terrorized by George. This movie does a great job capturing the chaos and confusion here. I'm sure that if something like this happened in real life, the people here will be reacting in the exact same way. If you look closely, there's even one guy using his smartphone to record right there. Some very impressive visual effects for Ralph. He looks very menacing and intimidating. This scene is a subtle reference to the first Alien movie. In that movie, a similar scene occurred when Samuel Brett was killed. The alien xenomorph sneaks up behind Brett, just like how Ralph sneaks up behind Burke in this movie. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was a great choice to play Agent Harvey Russell. Jeffrey Dean Morgan even said the reason he joined this movie is because he grew up watching movies like Godzilla and King Kong. He really wanted to be in a monster movie, and he didn't get the chance to be in one yet. He saw that Dwayne Johnson was going to star in this movie, so that's why he also decided to join. This conversation is very ironic. Dwayne Johnson is very much a people's person in real life. He's actually known as the People's Champion in WWE.
Justice League?
This Justice League reference is very meta. Jeffrey Dean Morgan currently plays Thomas Wayne in the DCEU. Additionally, Joe Manganiello, the actor who plays Burke in this movie, also portrays Deathstroke. He was actually in the post-credit scene of the 2017 Justice League movie. Furthermore, Dwayne Johnson is supposed to play Black Adam in the DCEU. The C-17 pilot here is actually played by Adam Sitskikio, one of the writers of this movie. That's definitely a nice cameo. Agent Harvey Russell's pistol here is a nickel-plated M1911A1 Colt with ivory handles. That's a nice reference to the TV show Supernatural. In that show, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character John Winchester uses the exact same pistol. This pistol is later inherited by his character's eldest son. This is a very awesome action sequence. The movie does a great job raising the stakes. There's not much space in this tiny plane, so the people have nowhere to run or hide. They have no choice but to fight George. Pretty hilarious moment here. I'm sure that if you woke up and you were suddenly skydiving, you would have the exact same horrified and surprised reaction as Agent Harvey Russell. Also, it's nice how Davis saved Agent Harvey Russell's life here. It goes to show that he cares about others, and he's not going to leave them behind. This is definitely consistent with Davis's character. He's always going to help those in need. This movie does a great job portraying George's tragic backstory. It definitely manages to pull at the audience's heartstrings. I'm sure that the people watching can really feel sympathy for George. It's nice how Agent Harvey Russell is returning the favor here. Davis saved his life, so now he's giving Davis the keys to the medevac chopper. It goes to show that Agent Harvey Russell is actually very kind-hearted towards the people that he trusts. The entire third act of this movie is very fun and entertaining to watch. This movie is definitely embracing its ridiculous premise. It's cool to see some giant monsters destroying an entire city. The A-10 Warthog fighter jets here are the exact same fighter jets from the Rampage video game as well. That's definitely a nice Easter egg. Some very impressive visual effects for Lizzie. Just like with Ralph, Lizzie also looks very menacing and intimidating. The Dave & Buster's here is a nice Easter egg. Dave & Buster's actually created an arcade game based on the Rampage movie. In the game, up to 3 players can move a joystick and tap buttons like crazy in order to win tickets. Once again, this movie has some fantastic visual effects. It actually looks very realistic. George does indeed look very terrifying. If you look closely here, you can see George pulling a person out of this building and eating them. This is yet another nice reference to the Rampage video game. In the game, you could also pull people out of buildings and eat them in order to gain HP for your character. Whoa, that is brutal. This movie does a great job portraying the differing personalities between Brett and Claire. Brett was hesitant on shooting Davis, but Claire shot him immediately. It goes to show that Claire is heartless, and Brett just simply follows whatever Claire does. It's cool to see the monsters climbing the buildings here. That's another nice reference to the Rampage video game. In the game, you could also climb any of the buildings when you are playing as one of the monsters. Claire wearing a red dress is a nice touch. It's yet another reference to the Rampage video game. In the games, you could also eat women wearing red dresses for additional points and HP. Whoa, that was quite unexpected. This movie does a great job making the death scenes very brutal and violent. I'm sure that the people watching probably had the exact same reaction as Agent Harvey Russell. Pretty hilarious moment here. It's funny how the background music stopped abruptly as Kate was answering the question. It's nice to see Davis and George joking around again. Now Davis finally has a fighting chance to defeat Ralph and Lizzie because he has George on his side. It's no longer 3 against 1 now. This entire final battle sequence is pretty epic. It's very cool to see Davis and George fighting Ralph and Lizzie. You can really get a sense of how gigantic the monsters are. Once again, this movie has some very impressive visual effects. This is a pretty clever strategy. Davis knows that he can't kill Ralph, so instead he got Lizzie to kill Ralph. We know that Davis has a lot of combat experience because he was in the US Army Special Forces, so he knows his limits. Pretty hilarious moment here. It's funny how Davis is directly pointing out the ridiculousness of the current situation. He thought that he had killed Lizzie, but it turns out that it's not the case. The movie does a great job making this a very intense scene. Lizzie is literally only a few inches away from eating Davis. Great use of slow motion here. This scene is pretty epic. It's cool how George was able to find a way to kill Lizzie. This movie does a great job faking out the audience. It makes it seem like George has died from his wounds, but that's actually not the case. This movie was originally supposed to have the sad ending where George dies for real. However, Dwayne Johnson did not like the ending. He's the one who changed it to where George actually lives, so that the movie would end on a much lighter tone. Pretty hilarious moment here. It's funny to see George giving Davis the finger again. It's nice how this movie doesn't take itself too seriously. This movie kind of ends the same way that it begins. At the beginning of the movie, Davis is asking George to welcome a new member to his pack, Pavlo. At the end here, George is being introduced to a new member of Davis's pack, Kate. This detail is probably just a coincidence and not intentional, but it's still a nice touch. Well, that's it for this video. What did you think of Rampage? Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Also, let me know which is your favorite movie based on a video game. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications for my channel so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Rampage is a blast. It's packed with thrilling action, awesome fight scenes, and a strong performance from Dwayne Johnson that makes the whole movie exciting to watch. Sword Art Online, on the other hand, is a boring mess, dull story, lifeless characters, and no real excitement to be found. Plus, here's another cool Dwayne Johnson movie you'll definitely want to check out.
Enter the realm of fantasy fatalities, the series that delves into the demise of named characters in fantasy movies and shows. We unveil our latest analysis as we explore the body count of none other than Black Adam. In 2600 BC, Kahndaq was the center of power and enlightenment. They thrived for centuries until a tyrannical king named Acton took power. The king intended to forge the crown of Subok. He needed a rare mineral made of magical properties called Eternium. The king enslaved his own people and he forced them to dig for Eternium. A man named Zhao is killed by a guard. A young boy wishes to overthrow the king, but he gets captured by the guards. The boy is about to be executed, but he's teleported to the Council of Wizards. They empower the boy with a gift from the ancient gods and he turns into a champion. The crown is made and the king puts it on. The champion kills the king. In the present day, Kahndaq is occupied by international mercenaries known as the Intergang. An archaeologist named Adriana wishes to find the crown. She's joined by her brother Karim as well as other colleagues Ishmael and Samir. Adriana's son Amon wants to help, but Adriana tells him to go home. The characters drive to a mountain. Adriana, Ishmael, and Samir go inside while Karim stays in the car. Intergang comes and they kill Samir. Adriana and Ishmael find a tomb that contains the crown. Adriana gets the crown, but Intergang ambushes her. Intergang is about to kill Karim, so Adriana gives up the crown. Adriana reads an incantation and she unleashes Adam. He brutally kills the Intergang members and flies away. Adriana and Karim escape while Ishmael gets buried under some debris. Adriana took the crown with her. Adam collapses and he loses consciousness. It turns out that Ishmael is the leader of Intergang. U.S. government official Amanda Waller thinks that Adam is a threat to humanity. The Justice Society of America is sent to capture Adam. There's Cyclone, Adam Smasher, Dr. Fate, and Hawkman. Dr. Fate can see the future and he gets a vision of Hawkman dying. The Justice Society of America members fly to Kahndaq. Adam wakes up in Amon's room. Adriana wants Adam to help free Kahndaq from Intergang. Adam flies away and Amon goes after him. The Justice Society of America members arrive in Kahndaq. Adam and Hawkman fight each other in the sky. Dr. Fate calls for Cyclone and Adam Smasher's help, so they join the battle against Adam. Dr. Fate touches Adriana's backpack and he senses the crown inside. Adam Smasher grows bigger and he knocks Adam into the ground. Adam overpowers Adam Smasher and he knocks him out. Adam flies away. Hawkman wants to go after Adam, but Dr. Fate says that they're not strong enough. Adriana doesn't have the crown anymore since Amon took it. Adriana speaks to Adam. A flashback scene shows that Adam was imprisoned by the wizards after abusing his power. Adriana didn't free Adam from his tomb. It was his prison. Adam agrees to hear the Justice Society of America out. Amon returns home to Karim. Ishmael is there and he holds Amon at gunpoint. Ishmael demands the bag and Amon gives it to him. Ishmael opens the bag and he sees the crown. Karim distracts Ishmael so that Amon can escape. Ishmael shoots Karim in the stomach. The Justice Society of America members talk to Adam. Adriana begs for Adam to save Amon and he does it. Ishmael takes Amon away while Adam is busy killing the Intergang members. The crown is missing from the bag. Karim is taken on board the Justice Society of America's ship and they heal his injury with nanobots. Adam and Hawkman find the crown in Amon's room. Adam agrees to work with the Justice Society of America to save Amon. Dr. Fate talks to Hawkman. Dr. Fate knows that Hawkman is going to die, but he tells him that there's still time to change the future. The characters discover where Ishmael took Amon. Ishmael wants the crown and he threatens to kill Amon if they don't give it to him. Adriana gives the crown to Ishmael. Ishmael reveals that he's a descendant of the king. Ishmael shoots Amon, but Adam is able to block the bullet in the nick of time. Adam is furious and he destroys everything. Ishmael is killed and Amon is injured. Adam feels guilty. He tells Hawkman the truth. Adam's son Harut was Kahndaq's champion. Adam's wife Sharuda was killed. Harut gave his powers to Adam to save his life. Harut was killed by assassins. Adam doesn't want to hurt people anymore. He says Shazam and gives up all of his power. Adam is taken to an underwater black site and kept in suspended animation. He won't be able to speak as long as he's submerged. Amon gets better. Adriana and Cyclone turn the crown upside down. They realize that Ishmael intended for Adam to kill him on purpose. Ishmael is sent to the Rock of Finality. He says the name Subak and is reborn with the powers of the 6 demons from the ancient world. Subak fights the Justice Society of America. Subak is too strong and Dr. Fate doesn't think that they can win. Dr. Fate creates a magical barrier to prevent Hawkman, Cyclone, and Adam Smasher from facing Subak. Dr. Fate found a way to stop Hawkman's death. Dr. Fate fights Subak on his own. Dr. Fate telepathically speaks to Adam and he encourages him to rise up. Adam escapes. Subak kills Dr. Fate. The magical barrier is gone and the other Justice Society of America members come to fight Subak. Adam says Shazam and he regains all of his powers. Adam rips Subak in half and he kills him. The citizens of Kahndaq celebrate their victory. Hawkman, Cyclone, and Adam Smasher leave. Adam sits on the throne. Amon questions him how it feels. Adam replies that it feels wrong and he destroys the throne. Adriana thanks Adam. Adriana wonders what they should call him. The Black Adam title card appears. A hologram of Amanda speaks to Adam. Amanda warns Adam that if he steps out of Kahndaq, then she won't give him a chance to regret it. Superman comes and he wants to talk to Adam. In total, there were 8 named character deaths: Zhao, Acton, Samir, Ishmael, Sharuda, Harut, Dr. Fate, and Subak. With a runtime runtime of 125 minutes. That gives us an average of one death every 15.63 minutes. Black Adam received mixed reviews from critics, but positive reviews from audiences. The movie made $393.3 million worldwide at the box office, but it was considered to be a flop due to the high marketing and production costs. Deadline Hollywood projected a thrilling lucrative profit range of $52 to $72 million. This extraordinary outcome was attributed to ingenious marketing strategies, where Dwayne Johnson's influential social media presence spearheaded the campaign with remarkable cost efficiency. Moreover, the film's revenue streams were amplified through the booming realm of PVOD and streaming, while the absence of box office share further enhanced its financial prospects. However, a later investigation unveiled a web of suspicion surrounding Dwayne Johnson and his team. A group of astute Warner executives suspected them of orchestrating the leakage of a purported financial document to Deadline Hollywood, brimming with distortions and inaccuracies. In March 2023, Dwayne Johnson won Favorite Movie Actor at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards for his role as Black Adam. Dwayne has confirmed some epic plans for Black Adam in the DCU. Not only will we see Black Adam go head-to-head with Superman, but we can also expect a crossover with Shazam. That's not all. In a recent interview, Dwayne teased that we can expect Black Adam to interact with a slew of other DC characters, with the possibility of crossing over with versions of the Batman and Joker from other universes through a multiversal scenario. In a surprising turn of events, Henry Cavill made the difficult decision to relinquish his iconic role as Superman in December of 2022. This move was prompted by the arrival of James Gunn as the new head of DC, who had plans to completely reboot the DC universe and chart a new course for its characters. Meanwhile, Dwayne confirmed that fans of his electrifying portrayal of Black Adam would have to wait a while for a sequel. Despite this setback, he expressed his eagerness to explore new avenues for the character within the vast multiverse of the DC universe, in collaboration with Warner Brothers. As we eagerly await the next chapter in the DC universe, I'm turning to you, dear viewers, for your input. Which fantasy movie or show should I delve into next? Share your suggestions in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more exciting content.